Today's video is sponsored by Heart of the Tribe Gallery, where art meets community. More about that later.
So, here I am, outside Templemead Station. I'll tell you why in a minute. So, a while ago, Jeff was talking to Dave from the Wandering Ponderer channel about their favourite toys when they were children. So Jeff and I decided, wouldn't it be fun to replace something from his youth and get him his favourite toy? In order to wing him back to his dim and distant youth, we have replaced his favourite toy and we have bought him one of these. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a flashy flicker magic projection gun. When Jeff looked into it a little further, it transpired that this thing was made in Swansea on an industrial estate. So I'm going to go and find out a bit more about it. So we looked into it even further and it starts to get very interesting. It appears that large numbers of toys that people grew up with from the 50s, the 60s and 70s were made in Wales, and quite a lot of them were made on an industrial estate in Swansea. So this is why I'm at Bristol, this is why I'm about to get on the train, and we're off in that direction very soon. So I've made it to a rather windy and rather grey Swansea. I now need to go and catch a 111 bus, which is in that direction, so I'm going to walk there and hopefully not get wet if it rains. And so here we are at the bus station at Swansea, about to jump on the bus. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Forestfach trading estate, which became home to many, many famous and iconic brands of toys that you and I grew up with. Let's find out a bit more about its history. During the war, Swansea Corporation decided it wanted to do something to secure the financial security of the city when the war was over. To that end, they purchased 200 acres of land at Forestfach here, with the aim of attracting new businesses to the area, together with the employment that would bring for returning service men and women after the war. Here we can see an aerial image of the toy factory taken in 1949, just after completion. At the same time that the factory opened, the Corgi brand was born, and with its Welsh Corgi logo, their first die-cast car was produced in 1956 and can be seen here. At its peak, 5,000 people worked at this factory, many of them women, as can be seen by these photographs taken in the 70s. But like many companies across Britain, decline had set in, and there was a management buyout in 1984, followed by a sale to Mattel in 1989. However, sadly, in 1991 the factory closed with the loss of many jobs, and the last model being produced being a Toyota Celica. The factory, as we will see further later, still exists. Lewis Marks began producing toys in 1919 in the US. After the war, they opened their factory here. They made tinplate toys here, as well as dolls' houses and other childhood staples. Their fortunes also began to decline in the 60s, and this continued through the 70s, and then in 1981 the Lewis Marks factory closed, again with many job losses, many of them women. However, that factory was then demolished. And today, that Matoi building still stands. Although much modified, but it's still recognisable. Look at the windows and look at the picture I'm showing you on screen now. I'm stood at the bottom of the stairs, indicated by the red arrow, and that's the corner of the building right behind me. It's still recognisable. So, we have seen that two of the largest toy companies in the UK made this very estate their home. One of the buildings is across the way. Sadly, the Lewis Marks building didn't last. But anyway, it didn't end there. Because if you go a little bit further afield into Wales, many, many more childhood names have made this country their home. Look at this. Outside of Swansea, there were several other makers working in Wales. Dapol made model railway items and airfix kits. That's still going. Two really well-known characters were made by Diane Jones in Wales. These were Super Ted and the Bassett's Licorice All Sorts doll. However, this was soon farmed out to the Far East and they ceased trading in 1999. In 1945, Lyons Brothers set up a factory and the brand Triang was born. In 1964, they bought Triang and Dinky toys from Hornby. At this time, they were the largest toy makers in the world. However, the rot set in and, by 1975, cash injections from the Welsh Government failed to save the factory and it closed in 1978. Crescent Toys produced die-cast military vehicles. The last of them produced was the coach and horses for the Queen's Silver Jubilee in 1977. They wound up operations in 1983. And so here it is, the flashy flicker magic lantern gun in all its glory, and it's come home to the very trading estate upon which it was made way back in the 60s. All those years ago. Yes, I know it's in the shape of a gun, and no, I don't know why it's in the shape of a gun. Who knows? Go figure. I really hope that you've enjoyed this history of toy making here in Wales. We have seen companies grow and flourish, and then we've seen the eventual decline and closure, which has resulted in losses of jobs in the area. Thousands of people used to be employed on this industrial estate by companies making toys and other goods, which have sadly all been lost now. There are still jobs here, but not in the quantity there used to be. While at the same time, they had been making toys that were iconic and would shape the lives of millions of children, and I include myself in that number. I would like at this point to say a huge thank you to Bernie from Station Master's Choice, who has been absolutely amazing in sending us loads of information about, especially the other toy store companies in Wales. As you can see, I'm getting rather wet here, so we're going to cut this short. I'm not going to go on for as long as I was going to, but I just want to thank you for watching the video today. I hope you've learned something about toy making in Wales, and that factory behind me, although it looks nothing, it means a lot of stuff to an awful lot of people. But from here in a very wet and soggy Wales, this is me signing off and saying goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. The Heart of the Tribe Gallery is a community art gallery situated near the top of Glastonbury High Street. They host amazing exhibitions supporting local artists, and they have a beautiful secret garden out the back. So be sure to check them out and support local art.